This is my website. If I scroll down, you'll see a plain and simple menu like this. But wait, check this out. When I move my mouse over it, the menu pops up like this while blurring the rest of the content. The pop-up is smooth and the blur effect is subtle and clean. I use this effect to highlight the menu, but you can apply the same method to any section or cards on your website. I'll be using Elementor free and I'll show you the easiest way to create this effect. So let me show you how I did it. First, we will add a container and set it to full width so that we have flexibility across different screens and devices. Next, we'll give it a background color to make it stand out. We'll add some padding too on all the sides. Now scroll down and give a CSS class section-container to keep things organized. This way, whenever we need to tweak the layout, we know exactly where to go. I'll go here and rename this to section cards so that navigating within this layout will be easy. Now, inside this main container, we'll add another container to create the structure of each card. Set this inner container's width to full as well and done. Next, we are going to give it a gradient color like this. You may want to pick shades that complement each other and adjust the angle to make it pop. This gradient can be subtle or bold depending on the vibe you are aiming for. Then I'll add a smooth border radius that will round out those corners, and let's not forget to add some padding from the right, bottom and left to keep elements spaced out nicely. Once that's done, let's give this container a CSS class of box-container so that our code can identify this element. Now let's bring in our first image for the first container. I'm going with a tempting shot of pizza to start with, and I'll position it with a slight negative margin from the top to pull it up just a bit. This adds a layered effect that helps your pizza image stand out. With the image in place, it's time to add a heading right below it. So I'll drag the heading widget. This will be the card's title, pulling people in at a glance. I'll also style the heading to improve its visibility. And right below the heading, we'll add a text editor. This will be our description. So let's quickly insert some info about the item like this. Make sure it's easy to read and fits well with the overall card design. Next up, we'll be adding a price list widget to the card, and make sure it's added it right below the text editor as it will function as our primary menu. Let's add the prices and details for each item from the left here and style these elements to ensure they are easily readable. So I'll go to the style tab and tweak these settings. Once done, it should look like this. Finally, let's drop in a rating feature, and to do this, you can add a few stars that users can instantly associate with quality. Adjust the colors and spacing as needed so they look consistent and show the popularity of the product. To round off our menu design, we'll take this card we just made and duplicate it 3 more times. To wrap this part, let's quickly edit each card's text, image and price details to bring them to life. And once done, it should look like this. Finally, this is where we add the zoom and blur hover effect to our cards. But before that, whenever I'm doing some design work for clients, I make sure to install this free plugin Airlift because, okay, let me actually show you this. So that's my site speed before and that's after. It does a lot of optimizations automatically and keeps stuff fast. So you should definitely try this, and I'll leave the link in the description below. Finally, this is where we add the zoom and blur hover effect to our cards. To add this, we'll bring in another container and insert some HTML code like this. So I'll drag the HTML container, go to the description, copy the code and paste it here. This should give your menu section the zoom and blur hover effect, and this works in sync with the CSS classes we added earlier. Now remove any padding on the final container to make sure it doesn't interfere with the hover effect. I'll do that quickly. Okay, I think I'm done. Let's update and preview the changes. This is how your final design will look like. And if you hover your cursor over this card, it will pop up and the other cards will blur out. Also, it works the same for the other cards as well. Comment below if you have any questions and I'll help you out. Click this video if you want to triple your site speed in just 1 minute. You're really gonna thank me for this. So click here and I'll see you there.